welcome to my channel, Peace with Sha. I go by Sha or Shalonda. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you never miss an upload. If you're a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. In this video, we're going to be talking all about how to shift your mindset regarding wellness, which I think is a very important thing to talk about right now, especially as a lot of us are reassessing the goals that we made at the beginning of the year, revamping and are starting our wellness journeys. If you are someone who is just now starting your wellness journey, who is restructuring their wellness journey, who's getting curious about your wellness journey, are just overall interested in improving and challenging the things you think about wellness, this video is for you. So you are on your wellness journey, or you're just starting your wellness journey, or you're curious about what wellness means to you. Let's get into the things that you should keep in mind. Let's get into the things that you should think about in order to shift your mindset on wellness if you tend to have a very strict, straightforward thought process about what wellness means or what wellness is. One of the most important things you should keep in mind is that this journey is personal. It's personal. It's not like anyone else's. And so a while ago, I wrote this blog post about how wellness is not one size fits all. And that is very true as it pertains to your journey and my journey. There are going to be things that work for you. There are going to be things that you need. There are going to be things that you're curious about. There are going to be things that you want or desire that the next person beside you or someone in your household or one of your friends or family members may not resonate with. And that's okay. And that's normal and to be expected because this is a very personal journey. So that's one thing I want you to keep in mind as you progress throughout your wellness journey, as you start to create your own wellness routines, as you revisit certain wellness routines, as you check in with certain wellness routines that you have, that you remember that this is a personal journey and your routine is your own and it's not supposed to look like anyone else's. It doesn't have to look like anyone else's, and it's okay that it doesn't, because again, we all have different values, needs, wants, desires, and goals. So it just makes sense to make sure that you keep in mind that this is an individual journey. And I want to stress that because there is a lot of media right now regarding wellness, and I think it's beautiful that so many people are tapping into how they want to be well and what wellness looks like to them. And I also think there can be a big pressure or societal kind of rules about like how you should be well or what wellness should mean. I just want you to hold on to however you define wellness for yourself, and don't let anyone else try to redefine that for you, because it's not one size fits all. So that's the first thing to remember, that this is an individual mindset, this is an individual philosophy, and it may not look like someone else's. The second thing that you must keep in mind as you are shifting your mindset about wellness is that what matters the most is how you feel. It's not necessarily how you look. One reason that's very important to shift your thoughts about this is because it can be very easy to be very critical on yourself, to shame yourself, or to compare yourself to other people's if you feel like how you look or what your wellness journey looks like or what your wellness routines look like don't look like someone else's. It's not about how it looks, it's about how it makes you feel. Do I feel better about myself when I do this activity, when I have this mindset, when I practice these routines or have these thoughts? Do I feel good about myself? Do I feel more disciplined? Do I feel like I'm growing? Do I feel like I am reaching my goals? Do I feel like I'm in alignment with my values? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself, and that is what's most important, is how you're feeling during your journey, not what your journey looks like, not what it looks like to somebody else in another country, in another state, in your household. Is really, again, goes back to number one, this is an individual journey. So pay attention to how you feel the most. That is going to give you the most information about if your wellness routine, journey, mindset, thought process, if it's working for you or not, based on how it's making me feel. What are my thoughts regarding this? Do I feel lighter? Do I feel more energized? Do I feel more rested? Those are the things to consider, and not does my routine look as aesthetically pleasing as this next person's beside me, because that is not important. Third thing that you can think about as you are starting to develop, create your wellness routine, shift your wellness mindset, is that you can have everything, and it's okay if you don't have it all at once. There's a famous quote, I don't know who said it, but you can have everything but not at the same time. Some people may argue about that, but I think it's true. I think it's important to know that it is very possible for you to do all the things, or to have all the things that you want in a routine on your journey, in your fitness routine, in your eating routine, your sleep routine, in your morning routine, in your night routine. I think it's very possible to have all those things. I think it's very unrealistic to think that you're going to have it all at once. And in fact, you may set yourself up for failure thinking that I need to do all these things at the same time, or start at the same time, or I'm not going to have a good wellness journey or a wellness routine. That's not true. In fact, it's important to slowly build your journey up, slowly build your routines up, so that you can really tap into how you feel, what is and isn't working, where you might need to change some things around a bit. If you decide that, hey, actually this is not a value of mine, actually this is not something that's helping me, I don't want to do this at all. But it'll be hard to understand like what is and what is not working when you're trying to do all the things at one time, or you're trying to have all the things at once. So be encouraged to know that it's okay if you slowly build around your routines and into your journey. Another reason this is important is because it's easy to get overwhelmed. And oftentimes when we get overwhelmed or when we get stressed, we are more likely to quit, or we're more likely to have negative attitudes or thoughts about certain routines or certain journeys. So it's important that you start slowly so that you can maintain enthusiastic and excited thoughts about your journey. And the last thing to keep in mind as you're shifting your mindset regarding wellness, as you're building up your wellness routine, is that simplicity is best. And you may roll your eyes and you may think like, oh my gosh, like you may have heard that before, but it's the absolute truth. And I think this is true in any discipline you may study or any job you may have. It's generally understood that the more simple something is, oftentimes the better it's probably going to work, because there's going to be less bells and whistles to fix. If one thing goes wrong, the whole thing doesn't fall apart. It's just better to understand your system when it's not so heavily complex. And generally speaking, it's better to keep maintenance of things when they're not so complicated. So don't feel like you have to do a bajillion different things, that you have to get all these different products, that you have to empty out your bank account, that you need to follow all these people, follow all these trends. No, simplicity is best. Find what works for you, stick to that. Yes, be open and curious to exploring more things, but don't feel like you have to do all these different things and complicate this journey. It doesn't have to be complicated. Your mindset around this doesn't have to be complicated. Your journey doesn't have to be complicated. It can be simple and effective. And in fact, most things that are effective have a very straightforward plan of action, straightforward process, and you're able to rinse and repeat, do it over and over again. So I'm wishing you the best on your wellness journey. I'm wishing you the best as you continue to cultivate your own idea and your own thought process on what wellness means to you. Remember, wellness is not one size fits all. As always, peace, love, and joy, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.